Well, let's take a walk this morning and learn a little bit about how Scofield Bible, the Moody Press, a man named Darby, in the past 200 years has completely changed 800 years of biblical understanding. And when I say change that, I mean created what we would call a satanic antichrist information understanding of the Bible. They created this movement based off of completely altering what 1800 years of Christians understood about the Bible. So it started early in Scotland when a preacher named Darby heard about some girl who claimed she had a revelation about the coming rapture of the church. And so he believed it. He brought it to America and then began teaching and writing out and printing out all of this dispensational Zionist millennial kingdom information, and it became hugely popularized by the Moody Press, and then later this thing called the Scofield Bible, which was the final foundation of all of it. And so what happened is there was I've told this story before, but got together with this man named Scofield, a self-appointed attorney who was so corrupt he ended up in jail, and then appointed himself a pastor, and then as a pastor became probably one of the most influential antichrist proponents to the modern age, or even since the time of Christ. He was approached by they printed this thing called the Scofield Bible. And the Scofield Bible intention was to fool the church. And that was to get the church to support and unite itself with the teachings of the scribes and Pharisees. And the belief system that the scribes and Pharisees and the belief system of this one single genetic line from Abraham was the superior line, and that Christians were essentially a second-class citizen in that, and that Christians needed to support, fund, and basically help create this movement from there, could foster in the Antichrist, or through this Bible, Scofield Bible. We ended up with all of these teachings over the past 200 years, especially fostered in the past 70 years by televangelists, who they basically sold out for 30 pieces of silver for jets and worldwide ministries and, mansions, book deals, speaking engagements, gold and silver, whatever. And they preached a twofold message to deceive the Christian church, to change an 1800-year-old message to something completely different. And that is one, that that was put in the Scofield Bible as part of notes they added. It used to be you would have just footnotes, but they would add titles to the passages so that when people read it, they thought, well, that was the intention of the original writers, when it wasn't that at all. You can read in the Bible that it says something quite different. But they got Oxford printing press to come out of England and then come to America and print all these Bibles, and with millions of dollars of money got this Bible into all the seminary schools. And hence, for the past 100 years at least now, Christians have been following the support of those who are against Christ. The second phase of this was the teachings of dispensationalism, that there were ways that God judged the earth or judged people that went through dispensations. Also, 1800 years of teaching Christians never believed this. And then suddenly, they began to believe it, till now where they want to fight you about it. They're so absolutely convinced it's the truth from so much brainwashing of this material. They believe it's always been taught that way, and it was not. So the other factor in this is the rapture theology, which was not taught for 1800 years, and especially the craziness, which is now getting revealed. The sons of light are revealing this now and getting it out to the world, that this millennial kingdom, the millennial reign of Christ, has already taken place. That we are in the short season of the reign of Satan, who was released after that 1,000-year period. Now, for 1800 years, Christians realized this, and suddenly we were taught something different. Why was this done? All of this, why was this done? Because it completely deceives the church from understanding the timelines we're in, the methodologies and plans that the devil is doing. It deceives us to create lazy Christians who believe they're just watchers, that their job is to sit around and watch what's going on, and to believe that all of this stuff is just supposed to happen. When in reality, what you have is the dark side doing all of these things and getting you to stand down. It also gets Christians to allow people who are against Christ to take over their countries, because they're like, oh, well, we're allied with those people. Oh, we should let them sit in Congress and make decisions. We should let them make decisions for our banking interest. We should let them make decisions for our food distribution and our economy. We should send their central hub country $30 or $40 billion a year. We should send our men and women, our Christian men and women, to go to war against other enemies in the Middle East, to fight and die for them. We should fight their wars and die for them. This is why all of this was created. This is why the deception was made. It was a long-term plan. And the Christian church, the average Christian person, loses their mind because of the cognitive dissonance. And two, because the Holy Spirit from inside of them is screaming, I've been telling you this, I told you this, you know that I said something to you, and you keep ignoring it because the loudmouth on the TV, the 401(c) or the 501(c) pastor on television or in my church keeps saying something different. When I look in my Bible, I keep seeing these words that say, there wasn't any J's in the language. It said the land of Judah and the nations, and a Judaite anti-Christian movement had nothing to do with the original Bible or the people that lived, the Hebrews or Israelites that lived at that time. We've been totally deceived. Now, I will tell you my personal feelings. They're some of my best friends, but they don't participate in any of this stuff. They don't participate in these decision-making things. It is the upper echelon, the priest class, that is always, and the money makers, the money changers, who cause them to suffer and be persecuted because of their religious beliefs and what they do to persecute and cause harm to nations. Suffers, just like Catholics that died in wars because of what the Catholic Church decided. But the other problem is that they too know something's not right with all of this, but they don't do anything about it. So by not doing anything about it, by not stopping these people in the upper echelons, eventually their suffering comes along, because people figure out that they lost a son and daughter in a war for money for these people. They have lived a life of impoverishment or semi-slavery to usury systems because of it. You know, so I would say we wouldn't suffer for what they do. But I don't see that happening in a couple thousand years, and it hasn't happened yet. So, but I wanted to let you know and talk about this issue of the millennial kingdom, talk about the Scofield Bible and this belief system, so that you can go and research it. Because it was a false teaching book created to create an illusion for the Christian church. And now we can't understand that the millennium kingdom already took place. So, in this, you should go to the Sons of Light and the sonsoflight.life and study Tartaria, MUDFLOOD, and this kingdom to get better understanding, so you don't think it's craziness. All right, we'll talk to you soon. So this is where we switch over, guys, to the sonsoflight.life and the Abundant Life University and Soul News, where we can discuss these topics without being censored, and the Goon Squad can't censor us or take down the channel. So go over there, sign up to the sonsoflife.life and the Abundant Life University, where we begin teaching you about this secret information you haven't heard before, and also how to become wealthy, how to have influence, and how to have power as a Christian and start making an influence and taking your country back. Guys, we'll see you on the other side. Thanks for joining.